Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu diesem Video. Auf dieses Video habe ich ewig warten müssen, aber jetzt ist es endlich da. Ich freue mich total, euch sagen zu dürfen, dass ich jetzt endlich das Interview mit dem CEO von HighLevel, Shaun Clark, machen konnte. Zuerst habe ich gedacht, ich werde alles komplett mit meiner deutschen Stimme übersprechen, aber es ist jetzt original erstmal auf Englisch. Wenn ganz viele kommentieren, dass sie nichts verstehen, weil sie kein Englisch können, dann werde ich es zusätzlich auf jeden Fall machen. Aber da es ziemlich viel Zeit kostet, will ich das erstmal so hochladen, weil HighLevel erneuert sich so schnell, es kommen so schnell neue Features raus, so schnell sieht wieder alles anders aus, so schnell können auch Interviewfragen wieder hinfällig werden. Wir mussten in der Zwischenzeit auch wieder 3 Fragen wegfallen lassen, weil die neuen Features, nach denen ich gefragt habe, auf einmal schon bei HighLevel drin sind. Aus diesem Grund möchte ich euch das nicht vorenthalten und deswegen poste ich das in der originalen englischen Sprache schon jetzt und ich hoffe, du verstehst alles. Ansonsten schreib bitte in die Kommentare, was du auch so gerne machen darfst, das wird mir sehr weiterhelfen und gib dem Video ein Gefällt mir. Viel Spaß mit dem Interview. Shaun, let's start with the first question. What personally motivates you the most when working on HighLevel?
You know, honestly, I think the thing that motivates me the most is seeing all of the amazing things that people are doing with HighLevel in terms of building businesses and achieving personal outcomes that they've always wanted to achieve. And, you know, I love the like really big stories where people do amazing things that are way over the top, but I really love the small ones where it's really about things where are really life-changing to people. You know, I don't know, like you could be working a job and then you always wanted to not have a job and now you've left it, or you're stuck at a certain income level and now you've achieved something else, or you want to buy something that you've always dreamed of, and because of your business, you're able to do that. For me, that's really what inspires me to get up every day and work hard and keep building out HighLevel.
Great, thank you so much. What was the original vision behind HighLevel and how has it evolved since then?
Yeah, so I used to have I had a SaaS company before this that was kind of in the small business space, helping them collect past due money on past due invoices. And basically, what happened from that is it was awesome. I got a chance to work with 1,000 small businesses, but I got to a point where I didn't really know what else to do to help them. And so I just started asking them like, hey, what else do you want in your business? Like what's missing in your life? And they all sort of said the same thing. Like they said, I want more customers. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I can write some software to do that. And so HighLevel 1.0 was really just an attempt to kind of help small businesses. I started it with the still co-founder to this day, Varun. He and I did sort of basically it's two-way text messaging plus reviews and reputation management. We went out, we started selling to small businesses, and it was awesome at first. They loved it, but then very quickly they were like, I'm gonna have to cancel. And we're like, what do you mean? You know, like, did we do something wrong? Does the software not work? And they were like, no, it's great. We just don't have time to actually put this into work in our business. And, that was really the moment where, on one hand, we knew we had a great product, but we didn't understand how to help businesses achieve great outcomes. And so this is really when we got lucky. And we got a phone call from Rob and Alex, who's now our third co-founder, who was running a marketing agency at the time. And he really clued us in on the fact that agencies, or you could call yourself, a consultant, it goes by many names, but reality is it's somebody that helps that small business really take that technology and combine it with strategy and really put it out into their business. So honestly, that was truly the kind of the start and the ground and the foundation of what is HighLevel today.
Awesome. How would you compare HighLevel with other platforms out there? And what sets your platform apart?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I think the number one thing that separates HighLevel from every other platform is that our goal is to help our customers build a business on it. So we don't want to just sell you a tool and say, good luck and hope it all works out. But we really want you to gain an actual revenue stream as well as a business on it. And that's like why white labeling is at the heart of HighLevel. You can just, any plan off HighLevel, you can white label it, you can make it your own. And it's really built with that intention in mind, specifically so that if you ever sell this to someone else, you sell it to a business, they can't come out and say, oh, that's not your product, this and that. I'm just going to be a direct customer of HighLevel. No, we really want them to always be a direct customer of you. And if that doesn't, let's say you're giving them services and software and they stop doing services, we still want you to have that software revenue. And we're always thinking, how can this next feature not only help bring value to your client, but also help create more revenue for you? That's why we have all the reselling and the markup inside the app so that you can actually automatically charge money to your clients where it makes sense, both on the monthly side or any of the usage fees, that kind of thing. Always trying to find a way to help you make more money versus just trying to sell you yet another software product or tool.
Are there any specific success stories you can share about a certain business using HighLevel to reach their goals?
Yeah, I mean, we have. I mean, these days it's pretty awesome. So we we have about 3 million users now, and as a result, we have a lot of people from every corner of the planet, every type of industry, really using the platform. And so you could take. I always love. I always like the story of the very first small business we worked with is still with us. It's the only small business we currently serve. Alpine HVAC here in Eugene, Oregon, where I live. Literally, I think it was 6 years ago now. I said, hey, I have this product that would help you get more reviews. And the guy said, great, how much? I said, $300 a month. And he said, sold. And I honestly have not heard from him really many times since then. And he's still a current paying customer. But what I do know is at the time he was doing all the HVAC jobs himself, he had 2 trucks. And these days, I think he's got about 30 trucks. And I don't think he's been on an HVAC job now for many years. And he's one of the biggest HVAC people in my city. And it's reflective of the fact that HighLevel brought him from 12 Google reviews to over 600 in that time. And it's really done amazing things for his business. So I always like that one just because it's close to home and I know it so well. But, I've seen many, many other people who have started with, this idea of creating a business. Another person that's near me, I remember him coming to me and saying, hey, I want to sell to a specific niche. And I remember thinking, gosh, I'm not a big niche guy. I told him to go local. 3 months later, I asked him how he was doing. He said, it's going terribly. And I think I'm gonna have to shut down. And then amazingly at Level Up Day that not this year, but the year before, he turned up and I said, how are things going? He said, amazing, wonderful. And I said, well, what the heck changed? And he said, I just started going to the local chamber of commerce and working with all kinds of local businesses. And I found a lot more traction. And he was able to, and now he has this very prosperous business. I've checked in with him recently. He's still doing great. He's bigger than he was the first time I saw him. And so, lots and lots of those stories. And again, these are the small ones. These are the ones I love the most, just because I feel like, we have people who have 10,000 accounts, but those people are, were always, semi-big in some way. They had an audience, all of that. And as cool as that is, I really think people who start from zero or very little and are able to achieve something that is very great for them and their families, those are the things that inspire me the most.
Great, thank you. What specific feature of HighLevel are you most proud of?
Yeah, so this actually is one of the first features that we put out, and I would call it lead nurturing. And this is really something to this day that people don't do very well, although we just recently had a huge upgrade here. And, really, if you want to think about HighLevel, it's capture, nurture, close. Everything you need to capture leads, everything you need to nurture leads, and everything you need to close them into a sale. And it's that nurture piece where almost everybody falls apart. And a nurture is really just, I've captured the lead. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. and on a holiday weekend, am I getting back to them in 5 minutes or less? And if I'm not, I'm just basically wasting time. And then from there, when I do get back to them, am I able to conversate them into the next step in the process, which is almost always booking. And we've always had this unlocked. So when we first came out, we would say, a lead would come in, we would text them out. We would say, hey, thanks for registering for this offer. Is now a good time to get you booked? And people could say yes or sure, sounds good. And we would book them in. Now, one of the places where we fell down back then was if someone said, yeah, I want to book, but does it come in blue? Or, do you have it, do you have a current existing one in store or whatever? We really couldn't respond to those. And we would still lose some leads. But now with Conversation AI, which literally launched last week at Level Up Day 2.0, I guess, our second one, we've brought AI into the picture. And now we can actually successfully conversate entire complex conversations like that. So it really took that lead nurturing concept, which I love more than anything because it really produces amazing results for most businesses, and took it to a whole nother level. So not only was it already my favorite feature, it also got a lot better here last week.
Awesome, thank you so much. And the next question is really important for me. What new features or enhancement can customers expect from HighLevel in the upcoming month? What the next big step in HighLevel's evolution?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you just saw at Level Up Day, we launched a lot, 254 new features. And I got to tell you, the big ones, things like WhatsApp, e-commerce, the Conversation AI that I just mentioned, these are huge, huge, huge innovations. We also launched things like IVR, so you can have and ring all, so you can have really advanced phone trees and things like that. So really all of that was huge. And now it's really about taking that and continuing to bring that out and make it smoother and easier and continue to just do what we've always done, which is follow our customers, right? So our customers say, hey, we want e-com, we delivered. Hey, we want IVR, we delivered. We also have communities is huge. And again, everything depends on who you are, right? So we also just, communities is big if you're in the course and coaching space, because now people are building these private communities outside of Facebook. We have an awesome course creator now. We have a brand new white label mobile app coming out for courses for the learner side of the house. So there's tons and tons of innovation coming out all over the place. And then, specific to Q4, what we're really going to do is we're going to take all those massive drops from Level Up Day and really start to hyper iterate so we can bring them up to the level that we know our customers want. And again, based on customer feedback, which is what we've always done. If you look at the ideas list, as always, that's the number one place to go, ideas.gohighlevel.com. We literally look at the votes and we take those votes and walk them down. So look at all those amazing features from Level Up Day. You can go check it out. blog.gohighlevel.com is a great place. Our YouTube channel is a great place. Start with that. And then you'll see going out of that, man, there's some amazing stuff that has already dropped, and you can see how fast it's going to get a lot better.
I mean, HighLevel currently only accept credit card payments. Can we expect more payment methods in the future?
Well, actually, that's not 100% true. So in the US, we also accept ACH, but I get it. I would say Q4, one of the biggest things we're working on is taxes and international payments. So if you are outside the US, you are in luck. We are going to be doing a couple of big things. So one, we're going to be releasing an open payments API so that any payments provider anywhere, anytime can actually come in without talking to us or working with us and actually integrate natively. And we're going to make it so that it doesn't matter if it's SaaS mode or a two-step order form or whatever, it's going to be available to you. And those people can come in and integrate, because we know it's a big world out there. Everybody has their own payments provider that they like. And then on our side, we're working really hard to put in things like VAT, which is going to be big on the tax front, as well as other taxes, and make sure that we're also offering payments basically universally, including all the other payment methods today. We work with Stripe. They've got a lot of payment methods in different countries. We're going to be turning a lot of that on. You've also got buy now, pay later, things like that. So definitely a big focus on payments in Q4. So don't worry if you're lacking a payment method right now, it'll be there very shortly.
Will it be possible in the future to use our own mobile number without needing to purchase a new one through HighLevel?
Probably not, only because this technology doesn't really exist. So you can, so in the US, there's this weird thing where you can SMS enable a phone number, but that is very much a US thing. I've sort of come to understand. Also outside the US, there's this idea of mobile numbers and local numbers. So what we're, every jurisdiction is different. We're trying to, some jurisdictions you can buy local numbers that are mobile enabled, which is our preference. But in a lot of places you can't do that. But in general, like, this is less of a thing that people think, right? So everyone thinks they're getting a new number. The reality is that you can take any calls into that number, you can forward them out to the existing business number, and the business owner is none the wiser, right? And so then also any of the texting that's coming in and out, obviously we have a free mobile app that's branded under Lead Connector, or you can get the white label version. So now I'm conversating on that business number. You don't really want to take that existing mobile number and move it in anyways. Most of the time it's a personal number. You really need to be operating under a business number. And again, if you have an existing customer with an existing business number, they're not losing anything. It continues to operate the way it's always done. We really think about this as putting it out in front of that number and providing a lot of extra functionality. And the good news is, most of the time when people say, oh, I don't want to use a different number, they're thinking that people know their phone number. But let's all just be honest. Nobody knows anybody's business phone number. We all just pull over, open our Maps applications. We look up the business, we hit dial. No one knows our phone number. And the 5 people that do are our friends or our family. So it's really not a big deal at the end of the day. And if you get really, really, really into it, you can actually port numbers into HighLevel or LC phone today and continue to use those. But honestly, I think that while that's possible, I don't think it's really necessary for the vast majority of people. So either way, I would say it's not as big of a deal as it might sound.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And for us Germans, really important, will the WhatsApp feature work in the same way as SMS, or will there be differences?
Yeah, so I mean, by and large, it'll work the same way SMS does. The only difference is that, remember, WhatsApp is owned by Meta, and so we're going to actually have to work on their rules. The good news there, though, is this is business WhatsApp. It's a lot more commercially oriented. So, for example, things like these days, going out and doing big SMS blasts are very, very hard to do because they very quickly get blocked by carriers, or if people start hitting spam a lot, they'll automatically start to impact your reputation, and that reputation will follow you kind of wherever you go. WhatsApp, on the other hand, they have a whole setup to do this where you can pre-create outbound campaigns. Facebook kind of approves them. And then when you send them out, what happens is you're held less accountable because they've already pre-approved those. So there are a couple of differences there, but by and large, it is a messaging platform. It is going to work like WhatsApp does today between you and your friends or your family. But in my opinion, it's just simple. It's a great way to directly get into the pockets of people who use WhatsApp, which, let's face it, outside the United States is pretty much everybody. And it took us 4 years to do it. We're an official Meta partner. I think this is something really important to call out. There are other solutions out there and have been, but the vast majority of them are essentially doing something that's breaking the terms of service of Meta. And they're really just one lawyer's, letter away from being shut down, versus our solution is actually approved by Facebook and Meta. And so we're doing it the right way. So I'm pretty proud of that.
What current industry trends do you see as particularly relevant for HighLevel?
Oh, for sure. I mean, AI, right? AI is everywhere. Now, I think the misnomer about AI is when it first came out, we were all sort of seeing this ChatGPT thing and we're running off and running queries in there and building prompts and all this. And I think the idea was somehow that AI would sort of stand alone as a tool on the side. But I think in reality, what we're finding is that AI becomes infused into everything, and AI sort of just powers stuff. I think if it hey, right now, my job is to cut down a tree. I'm using the handsaw. Oh, you know what? Somebody just handed me a chainsaw. I'm still doing the same job. I'm still cutting down the trees, but man, I'm just mowing them down now because I've got a lot better tool to do the job. And I think that's how AI is going to work for us. So if you're writing copy, it's going to help you write copy. You're going to generate images. You're going to do images a lot faster, right? So all over the place, we're going to be able to do the same jobs we were doing before, just radically faster, and in some cases better. And things like conversation AI, I even think it'll be heads and shoulders above, because every business is going to have AI there. Oh, and of course, if you were watching the very tail end of Level Up Day, one of the Q4 features we sort of showed an alpha demo of is also voice AI. So both being able to call out and be able to call in and talk to AI in real time is going to be pretty awesome. And like everything, it'll start off a little sketchy, but over time it'll actually continue to get refined. And I think very quickly turn into something that's used by all organizations. So AI across the board, almost in every channel, is, in my opinion, the predominant trend for the foreseeable future.
Awesome. How is HighLevel addressing the specific needs and challenges of the German-speaking market? And when do you estimate a focus will be placed on the German-speaking region? I can testify that now would be the perfect time.
Well, I mean, what we are doing is we've taken a lot of big steps. So one, we internationalized the entire app into German. So not half bad if you ask me. We're talking mobile app, we're talking desktop app, all the way across the board, all native to get started. I can't remember if Stripe's available in Germany, but I would be shocked to find it isn't. So I think that we're already providing a good payment method system there. And again, like I addressed earlier, we'll continue to add payment methods. That's all good. And then we'll open it up so that even more native or local or preferred payment vendors are also possible there as well. And then finally, I think the big thing that's missing is just the taxes. And again, the nice thing about Germany and a lot of Western Europe is that is the predominant taxation methodology, which is a fairly simple methodology. And I think will be very easy to get online. And so once we sort of do some of those things, I think that in reality, there's no difference at that point between a German speaking or located consumer and a US located consumer. And honestly, the great thing about our company, the way we operate, it's not about us marching into a market somehow, like opening an office, something like that. It's our customers who make this happen. It's our affiliates, our coaches. It's the people in those markets that honestly bring us into those markets. And so I think our job is to provide the facilities to do that, the functionality to do that. And my hope is with taxes, language, and payments, we're already there. Oh, and of course, GDPR. So, there are a lot of things on the GDPR front that are important there. We obviously have to be GDPR ready, which we are. And then we also just recently launched GDPR compliant fonts, which is huge, because the number of people in our industry who have GDPR compliant fonts is almost zero. Most people use Google fonts. It's not GDPR compliant. So I'm really proud of the fact that we're trying to address that market very heavily today. And like I said, by the end of Q4, I do think we'll be in a good position to say there's really no difference between a consumer in Germany versus anywhere else.
Okay, cool. And what new integrations are in the pipeline for HighLevel?
Yeah, so I mean, integrations are interesting. So we continue to make the workflow builder very robust. So there's almost nothing that you need to quote unquote integrate with. Now, that being said, there are some things that are definitely things we'll integrate with. We just launched LinkedIn lead ad integrations. We'll continue to, we obviously just did TikTok, we've done WhatsApp. So there's lots of those sorts of things that I think we'll continue to do that are big, either social networks or advertising networks, things where we're going to be putting content out, or we're going to be getting leads from Google local search ads. We're working on that integration right now. So you'll continue to see a lot of those integrations. I do think there's a Canva integration as well coming up for the folks that are very familiar with that product or use it on the, importing images or importing templates or those sorts of things that exist out there in the world. So there are definitely some of those things out there that I think are going to come along. But and of course, we have the big thing we find is having a very robust open API is really critical. And we have done a ton of work on this. We continue to do this. We will always do this, because the idea is really simple. There are always going to be applications that are very specific to a niche or to a certain audience that we don't know about or we don't have any kind of handle on. And so what we really want to do instead is say, all right, we've got the API, it's open. Whoever wants to come in and actually put it in place can do that. And if you, at Level Up Day, we launched our big new developer apps marketplace. So if you're an apps developer and let's say you do one of these integrations, you can also get listed inside the app now, where people can find you, they can install your app. You can also even charge for the app now. And all of that is now built beautifully inside the marketplace and developer API. So for everything we don't touch, there's a great way for other outside developers to come in, build those functionalities for you, as well as monetize to pay them back for their hard work. So I think all of that together is a great way to bring basically every integration in.
How does user feedback influence the development and improvement of HighLevel?
I mean, honestly, I always say, I love all of our features and I love all of our people, but without our community, we wouldn't be here. And it's truly that which we use to drive all of our development. So again, back to ideas.gohighlevel.com. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's literally how we operate the company. It is, hey, go put your idea up there. We're going to look at the votes and we're going to go by vote order. I released, if we look, I'm going back and doing level up videos right now to talk about all the different features, because on stage I fired through them rapid fire as I always do, but now I'm doing individual rapid fire videos. And I'm so happy because every single one of them is like highest voted item for forums, highest voted item for funnel builder, highest voted item for payments. So there's just a lot of situations where I feel like I'm really announcing a feature that came from that ideas list. So as you can see, it really is the heart of how we do our development.
Awesome. Do you have any tips for affiliates to make the most of their partnership with HighLevel?
Yeah, I mean, it's really not as hard as it might seem. So, I mean, the reality is the sooner you go out and you just start doing content, the better. If anybody has seen my videos, they know that, they're terribly low production quality. They're very low prep work. It's very much on the fly. And yet, over time, I think it has really been a great thing. And I think all you have to do is say, hey, I'm going to dive into HighLevel right now. I'm going to pick a feature. I'm going to go over it, or I'm going to talk about a technique I'm using to make a sale, or a way I'm creating value for my client, and just produce content and try to put that out on all your channels. I recommend video because then you also get the audio. You can chop it up. You can do a podcast with it. You can do shorts, you can do short form content with it. You can TikTok it. You can shoot it out on Twitter and LinkedIn. So it gives you that ability. Plus you get the YouTube long form versions. So it's a very, very simple way to do it. It creates value in the world. And honestly, that's the best way to start driving affiliate traffic, because you're really just going out and trying to create value in the world, and people will respond to that, and they will ultimately reward you by using your affiliate link.
Thank you. And now a really big thing in Germany. How does HighLevel ensure the security of customer data and transactions?
That's a great question. So we obviously, like many people, use things like Amazon Web Services as well as Google Cloud. We also do that with regard to GDPR as well. And all of that is data. Data is encrypted at rest. It's encrypted in transit. We also have third parties that do all kinds of security reviews periodically with us. So we have outside parties trying to do things like penetration testing. And then we are always, we're always not only just relying on, Google security, we also have our own. And obviously, as you build a software stack, it's not just it's not just the provider like a Google, it's also all the things you add to it. And so, and then we add technologies like 2FA on top of that. And we also, even for our internal employees, using anytime they use any of the support functions of our system, they actually have to authenticate using their Google account, so we know exactly who they are, and there's 2FA on that as well. So lots and lots and lots and lots of ways that we try to do this, plus a whole team internally whose whole job is to review security protocols, look at API endpoints, and really try to make sure that there's nothing that all the automatic security hasn't covered, just making sure there's no holes left open by human beings. So you put all that together and we've got a fairly secure environment.
Sounds great, Shaun. Thank you. What resources does HighLevel offer for newcomers to make the most out of the platform?
This is something I'm really proud of. So we offer people live Zoom calls when they first come on board. So not only do you get a live Zoom call while you're on trial, you also get live and multiple Zoom calls. You get live Zoom calls after after you convert off of your trial to a paid customer. And I think this is really critical, just because we have, it's great to have help docs, which we have, and video tutorials, which we have, and amazing Facebook community, which we have, but really being able to get on the phone or on a Zoom call and do a screen share with somebody when you're running into an issue is radically cool. And I think it's something I'm really proud of. And we've seen a lot of positive feedback from that. So that to me is the neatest thing about how we do it. And of course, when you have great affiliates, also out in the world, they're not just sitting around doing nothing. They're creating amazing amounts of value themselves. They oftentimes do things like, for example, if you're a German speaker, they're going to be giving you German tutorials, and they may be offering German onboarding calls as well. So there's lots and lots of cool things there, but I'm pretty proud of what we have today, just in terms of our onboarding and Zoom-based support.
Okay, the next one is about company values. What values are most important for you at HighLevel?
Yeah, so I mean, we always talk about things like a bias to action. So, we are not big fans of perfection, because we feel like the longer you take to try something, the less likely you are to actually do it. And I think that for us, it's about trying to get out and try things, lots of iterations, really, really go to the mat for our customers, be super customer focused, just crazily customer focused. That's why we have the ideas list. We don't spend a lot of time thinking up what we think is best. We really try to let our customers drive us. We very much think of ourselves in service of those people, and that we're really kind of almost their outsourced dev team. And we're really trying to make sure that that's how we align our values. Also, by being white label, we really feel like that aligns the economic values, right? So normally in a lot of SaaS applications, an agency would sell a product to a customer, but that product they sold would be under that product's brand name. And a lot of times the agency, let's say the agency were to get fired, fundamentally what would happen at that point is the software company would often keep the customer and the agency would lose the customer. But by white labeling, we're really behind you as an agency. So if you lose the customer, we lose the customer, right? So we have a lot of partnership aspects to our relationship that are radically different than other SaaS companies.
And the most important question, in my opinion, do you have any secrets you can share so my viewers can see I've managed to get some exclusive insights from the CEO?
Oh, gosh. I try to be so transparent everywhere I go. I try not to keep too many secrets. I would just say that, it's the biggest secret I think of all of this is, despite the fact that HighLevel creates tremendous numbers of features, you can actually build a really amazing business on just one feature. And it could be let me give you some really specific examples. It could be miscalled text back. It could be the web chat widget on the website. It could be reputation management, like we talked about earlier for that HVAC company. You don't need all these features to make a lot of money. You can go out and really build a great business on one of these features, because it's very simple. At the end of the day, even though as technology people, as agencies, as these types of folks, we really thrive on features and get excited about it. At the end of the day, the businesses that we serve, they just want to see an ROI positive situation. So that means, hey, am I making more money than I'm paying you for the thing that you're giving me? And if that one feature, for example, let's say it's a miscalled text back where someone's calling in, the business isn't picking up, and we're texting them back. If that feature picks up one client or two clients for most businesses in a month, that's worth $300 all day long for every business worldwide. And that's just one feature, right? So the secret there is you don't need to have a ton of features implemented to do an amazing job for customers and build a great business for yourself that's very scalable.
Okay, perfect. I think with this answer, you answered the next and final question. For anyone unfamiliar with high level, why should they, in your opinion, give it a try?
I mean, again, it's if your goal is to build a business, if your goal is to add revenue, if your goal is to make money, that is what we focus on every day. And I think that's what makes us special and unique. And I think it's something you're not going to find at any other place and any other tool. And as a result, because we align our interests with yours, I don't think you could choose a better partner when it comes to actually going out in the world and doing something. And it doesn't matter whether you're starting today from zero or you already have 1,000 customers. Either way, we're an amazing way for you to add more revenue, create a business, and scale up. And I think you're not going to find anybody else who cares as much as we do about doing that, bar none, anywhere else in the world.
Thank you so much, Shaun. I hope we see us again soon.
Well, yeah. And I'd just like to say thank you for letting me come into the community today. It's awesome to be here. And I really appreciate all of you for coming around and listening to me. And I just want to say thank you so much.